This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, thank you for joining our demo presentation of Versium REACH today. First off, I'd like to give you a little background on Versium. We are a data technology company that operates a powerful B2B2C identity graph, which fuels all of our marketing tools and services. We build products that help marketers greatly improve their effectiveness throughout the entire buyer journey. We're here today to dive into one of those products specifically, which is Versium REACH. My name is Michelle Michaels. I'm the Senior Digital Marketing Manager here at Versium. So I cover all things digital marketing. What I love about Reach is using our persona-based audiences to drive marketing to relevant users to try our product for free. Also with us today is Phil Oshner. He is going to be your demo presenter, and he is our VP of Sales at Versium. Thirdly, we have Hayden Kroll. He is our Customer Success Manager, and he'll be going over some customer and prospect questions at the end of our demo. The goal of this presentation is to get you a little bit more familiar with Versium and Versium REACH and how to use this product within your daily marketing flow. So why Versium? Well, we own and operate a proprietary identity graph. Our identity graph is unique because we have advanced B2B2C matching technology. Marketers can access our tech easily through our products. Versium REACH is an extremely user-friendly and easy-to-use platform. And through our products and services, we're changing the game for B2B marketers. So when you look at a typical lead gen program for B2B marketers, some of those B2B marketing tactics are email, paid search, trade shows, and cold calling. So what's missing here is paid social and paid display. These channels have been extremely difficult for B2B marketers to tap into. So what are some of those challenges with digital display? Building audiences from scratch is a really cumbersome process. There's a lot of different triggers and segments that you can build with your audiences within advertising platforms. And for a small team, that can be really difficult and really time consuming. It's really difficult to know and understand who your audience is. Within advertising platforms, you can't take a high-performing audience and export it and move it into other platforms to use it in other places. Custom audiences, when building them within display platforms or paid social platforms, you typically are seeing very low match rates when using business data. And through these different platforms, you're seeing much higher CPMs and a lot lower conversions than you would be if you were using consumer data. So I'm going to hand it over to Phil. He's going to discuss how Versium REACH solves for some of these challenges, and he's going to take a dive into the Versium REACH platform. Phil?
Hi, everyone. My name is Phil Oshner, again, VP of Sales here at Versium. I would like to highlight three main pillars that are associated with REACH. If I were to summarize in three key words of what REACH does for you, it's help you identify, understand, and reach. We help you identify your ideal customer targets, so you're not wasting dollars and impressions on those that aren't ideal targets for you and your company. We help you understand your audiences. Too many of my clients create large business contact lists to do marketing to without having any insights as to who they're marketing to. So we will help you understand your audiences firmographically and demographically. And lastly, we help you reach your ideal customer targets. It's one thing to identify and another to understand, but if you're unable to reach, it's all for naught. From there, we will discuss the key features that Reach has to offer, helping you identify, understand, and reach. We will provide you and we'll walk you through the list insights that Reach has to offer, our online audience feature where we overlay consumer data tied to the business contacts. You will have the opportunity to build custom audiences using our persona-based audience feature. One thing that I absolutely love, because I assign my sales reps to identify top 50 or top 100 accounts that they would like to do business with and sell to. We have a feature for account-based audiences, as well as Lookalike Audiences. Most of my clients upload their current clients to generate more targets that look just like the ones that are currently paying them. With that, let's jump into the platform. This is the homepage of Reach. Again, 5 key features. The online audience append feature and the list insights feature that you see off to the left-hand side will always be available and always be a part of your process, whether you're uploading a list that you currently possess or building a list or an audience from scratch using one of the 3 features here, persona-based, account-based, and lookalike audience. List insights and online audience append will always be available. That said, let's look at the online audience append feature. For those of you that have business lists, whether it comes through your marketing platform or your CRM system, or you purchased a list, or you come back from a conference like this list that you see here, you'll be able to upload this directly in the online audience append feature to where it will overlay with consumer information. We personally went to the HubSpot conference last year when trade shows were available, and we scanned badges. We received first name, last name, email address, some phone numbers, business name, and locations of the headquarters of these companies. I'm simply going to go into this online audience append feature, and I could drag and drop that CSV file, but I also want to show you the integration that we have with HubSpot. I'm able to pull that same exact static list in from our HubSpot integration, and within a few clicks, I'm able to layer on consumer information. But first, I am going to name this folder that I'm going to be doing a few projects or a few file appends in. We'll name this Webinar September. We have the ability to utilize our exclusion and suppression list off to the right-hand side. If you want to exclude, let's say, current clients or some of your competitors that might be on the list, you are able to tap into the exclusion and the suppression feature where we can also suppress people from showing up in your new audience that might be active in other campaigns that you're currently running. So I started with 162 contacts that stopped by our booth at HubSpot's conference. They all had each one of them had a business email address associated with them. What we were able to do within a few clicks is add 758 new contact points appended to the business list. These contact points consist of both consumer emails and consumer phone numbers, such as my mobile phone. What you see below is a summary of information. First, we're going into the firmographic information tied to the companies, whether that be revenue, location, headcount, revenues, all the different industries associated to the people that stop by my booth, the number of years in business, and then we get down to the demographic information. At the end of the day, we are marketing to individuals on their consumer profiles. So tell me about these individuals, because we only have a few seconds to capture their eye and attention to hopefully have them click on our ads. So where are they located? Are they single, or is the majority of my audience male or female? If I can find out that, let's say, 80% of my audience is males over the age of 55, I might tailor my content a little bit differently had my audience been, let's say, 75% females that are all millennials. So we do have a number of different firmographic and demographic information. We're hoping to provide you with at least a nugget or two to either help you further segment your audience or tailor the content appropriately. We do give you the ability to download the demographic and firmographic layout like you see here as a PDF. And then from here, we also give you the ability to directly push this audience into Facebook through our Facebook integration, or simply click this Export CSV button in the top right hand, and we'll provide you with this entire audience in different formats specifically for each platform that you will be running advertisement on. As you can see, ad roll, Facebook, generics used for programmatic display or cookie matching. We have Google and LinkedIn. We also do provide you with the original audience, which is just business information. So you can do a side-by-side comparison between your original business audience versus, let's say, the enriched audience that you'll be uploading to Facebook. So again, we just took 162 business records and added 758 new emails and phone numbers associated with this audience to increase the match rate that we typically see of around 3 to 5x. Going back to the home page, we have the ability to process a list from scratch, either using persona-based, account-based, or lookalike audience. I personally am a big favorite, again, of account-based audience. So let me show you a simple ABM list, a list of companies that I would like to do business with. Now, I don't have any information on any of the individuals at these companies. Some of these companies you might be familiar with, such as Outreach or DocuSign, Tableau, Expedia. What I'm going to do is take that list of domains or company websites and simply take that CSV file, that single column CSV file, and find it on my computer here. Here it is. It's going to do some field mapping on my behalf. Click next steps. And we're starting off with a handful of companies and 13,777 contacts associated to those companies I'd like to start targeting. But I don't want to just market to anybody within the company. You have these filters that you're able to play with. So I want to target my senior level executives and managers and directors, but not just any VPs or executives. I want to make sure that we're targeting the right executives within the right department. So let's target finance, marketing, and sales. I just whittled down my list of nearly 14,000 individuals to roughly, 1,267 contacts. Click next steps. Again, I'm going to place this in our webinar September folder. I have the ability to manage exclusions and suppressions. And within just a few clicks, a few filters, I've created a brand new business list of 1,267 business contacts. Now, I haven't taken the final step of layering on the consumer information because I want to do a little bit of spot checking. I want to be able to understand my audience before I am set on running a campaign against this newly created business list. So I have the luxury of going through the firmographic and demographic information as I showed you before. But more importantly, unlike what your unavailable to do in, let's say, Facebook, I have the ability to do an audience preview to make sure that the right individuals or the right titles from the right companies are showing up in my newly created audience. And what you can see from this file that I'm showing here is titles, domains. So are the right titles from the right companies showing up in my newly created audience? So I'm able to flip through, do a little bit of spot checking, and before I click this online audience, I'm able to give the thumbs up. So from here, I simply click this Create Online Audience, and that's where the magic happens, where we layer on the consumer information on top of the business list that I just created from scratch. We'll let that process. It could take a few minutes for us to go through the thousands of different files and databases that we have access to find the associated contact points related to the original 1,267 records associated to the 5 or 6 different companies that I want to start targeting. While that's running in the background, let me show you a little bit of the persona-based audience. Now, this is where you really go in from scratch. I haven't identified 5 or 6 ideal companies to start targeting. I can just simply start doing some filtering based on SIC codes or keywords. And in this case, let's go after retail and apparel. You have the ability to filter based on employee headcount and revenue. Right now, we're at just under 417,000 contacts, so I'm able to play with revenue, employee count, again, the same filters of title rankings, and then specify the departments in which we're going to further filter using. And I also have the ability to filter by state, not only by state, not only by the location of the headquarters of these companies, but also by the location of the person's physical location. So if you have satellite offices or franchises, you're able to specify where the individual is located. Click Next Steps. For that, we'll name this newly created list. Let's call it Retail in the United States, and throw this in the same folder that we've been using. Hit Create, and we've just created a brand new list, a lot like the ABM list that we created from scratch, but this was absolutely from bottom floor, creating this new audience of 4,285 business contacts, where we'll also be able to understand them more in-depthly with firmographic and demographic information, and do an audience preview, making sure that we have the right titles and the right departments associated with retail companies, of which we will also list, giving you some transparency back in this process before layering on their consumer information. And if we were to hop back to the online or the account-based audience, it completed the online audience append. Again, starting with 126 business contacts, we added on an additional 6,246 contact points. Now from here, I do know that there's a lot more than the 5 or 6 different companies that I put on my ICP or Ideal Customer Target list or ABM list. A lot more than 5 or 6 in the state of Washington. So I can simply run a lookalike audience. I can do that from here, or I can go back to the home page, but might as well show you that I can start with a very small ABM list, and there are a number of companies that I'm either forgot or weren't aware that are in the Seattle area. And so I can just simply click lookalike audience, and we're able to generate a lookalike audience based off business information such as industry, headcount, location, to add on additional, or basically create a larger list of similar businesses, a lot like the original 5 that I started with. I can keep it pretty loose or I can be pretty specific. Let's say I want more companies like the ones, the original 5 or 6 that I identified. I want more in the state of Washington and California. So I can make that a very strict match. Or I can cast a wider net and say, give me anybody or any companies that look like those across the United States. Click next steps. And I've just created a brand new lookalike audience from scratch, heavily using business information, unlike what you are left to do. Let's say utilizing Facebook's lookalike audience, again, being a consumer data-centric website. This should take a few minutes. I know it says up to 2 hours to process. It works a lot faster than that, but we'd like to be a little bit conservative. And it's going to provide you with the firmographic and demographic breakdown. It will provide you with the audience preview, all before you're able to, all before the last step of doing the online audience, where we layer on the consumer information, giving you that higher match rate, because consumer information is what most of you and your friends are utilizing when logging into, let's say, Facebook, Google, or LinkedIn. With that said, I've covered all 5 of these features. Again, online audience is always going to be the last step in anything that you do here with Reach. List insights are always going to be provided, whether you upload a list or create one from scratch. And then the lookalike audience is the one that I didn't do directly from the homepage, but you can do a lookalike audience off of a list that you uploaded. You can do a lookalike audience off of account-based. And then most people, what they do is they just take a list of their current clients or their highest revenue generating clients to see what we can do to provide similar companies for you to start targeting. With that said, Michelle, Hayden, I'll leave it to you to do a little bit of Q&A.
Great. Thank you so much, Phil. All right. So first question here. Phil went over this a bit, but can Versium REACH exclude my current accounts from new audiences?
Yeah, so we hear this question quite a bit, mostly that a client or a Reach user will have a list of their current customers that they want to make sure aren't included if they're, say, doing a lookalike or an account-based audience. So we give users the ability to upload either a list of emails or a list of domains that we can then use as a suppression list for any other audience within Reach.
All right. How often is your business data refreshed?
Yeah, another question we hear from just about everybody. Our business data is updated on a daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly schedule.
Great. And are you CCPA and GDPR compliant?
Absolutely. You can find our CCPA compliance directly on Versium.com, and GDPR is there as well.
All right, this is a 2-parter. Since all of the data exported from Reach is hashed, how do I know the right data is in there? And then, is there a way to test the lift that an online audience file has compared to my original data?
Definitely. As Phil demonstrated in the demo there, we do provide an audience preview file that will give you a list of the companies, titles, departments, and an obfuscated email address to show you that we actually do have a record behind that hashed data. When it comes to testing lift, this is something we recommend all of our trialers and customers do, using the original files, so just the business data that we provide back in the zip folder, and the platform optimized file. By uploading both of them to a specific ad platform, you'll be able to gauge the increase in reach or the match rate that you would see by using our online audience extended files.
Great. And next, what are the main factors considered in your lookalike modeling?
Oh, good question. So our lookalike model is unique in that it combines both demographic and firmographic information. So where you may be familiar with Facebook's interest-based lookalike modeling that considers your demographics, and LinkedIn has the ability to do certain types of companies or industries with their lookalike modeling. Ours is going to combine both. So we care most about finding similar people at similar companies. This is going to include criteria like the industry, department, and titles of the people that are in your lookalike input, as well as their household income level, education level, and location in the United States. So by blending the two of them, we're able to provide relevant people at relevant companies.
Awesome. It looks like that's all the questions that we have for today. So thank you so much, Hayden, for going over those for us. And other than that, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. If you have any questions that we didn't cover, feel free to get in touch with any one of us via email. Our contact information can be found on our intro slides, or just reach out to sales@versium.com. I'd also like to invite you to sign up for a free trial of Versium REACH. You can do so by visiting our website, clicking the Try It Free button, or just reach out to sales@versium.com and we'll help get you started. Thanks again.